So we're joining another game in progress. Yesterday's YouTube video was our second most popular in the history of this channel. So let's keep plugging away. Let's see what happens. Let's see if I can help some magic happen. As we are currently in the 7th inning of this one, we will discuss today's game as it is occurring, much like yesterday. We will get into the minors, the pitching side of things, as we talked about the hitters last time, on today's episode of Locked On Guardians.
You are Locked On Guardians, your daily podcast on the Cleveland Guardians, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Okay, so right now we have a runner on first in the 7th, 2-1 count. Going on, Quantrell has 94 pitches. Josh Harrison is at the plate. Guardians currently trail 3-1. Josh Naylor going yard yet again in this one. That's 3 home runs in how many innings now? I think he hit it in the 6th there, or was it in the 7th when he hit the home run? But either way, it's like almost in a game's time, he has gone yard 3 times. There's a great story circulating on Twitter, too, about how before the game, a young fan asked him to sign a baseball, and Josh Naylor then asked that fan to sign his glove. I know I was critical of him this offseason, and I've been proven wrong. You know, I'm willing to call a spade a spade. It is early. I mean, I don't think he's going to continue at quite the torrid pace he's had. The same, this caveat I've put with Owen Miller. And even Andres Jimenez, who's a player I was correct on. But, these players are playing better. They have definitely taken to the coaching. I don't know what I'm doing with my hat here. My hair is a disaster. They're definitely taken to the coaching. They're definitely playing better. It's definitely an improvement. You get some right, you get some wrong. And I will say, for as much as saying wrong, more my point on Josh Naylor was if he had continued with his production from a year ago, which was below league average, it would have made for a hard decision. Maybe he would have started to show this improvement a year ago if he'd stayed healthy. Likely. There's a lot of people who, when I made my comments about Naylor, came out of the woodwork and showed me, okay, so he's worked on his stance, his launch angle, things like that. Whatever it is, it's clearly working. This has not been, the most enjoyable game. Reason number one, because the donkeys in the front row. Side note, as I'm recording this, the Astros are currently no-hitting the Twins in the 8th inning. Let's go ahead and jinx that one. But yeah, this game is utterly, completely, totally unlistenable to. You cannot have volume up on this game and keep your sanity. It is so annoying because of the dudes in the front row and just the loudness of their shouting and everything going on. You can let me know over on the YouTube. Do you agree, disagree? I think unless you're a White Sox fan, you're going to agree with me. Even if the Guardians lose this game, the worst part about this game isn't the game itself. It is that group of, frat boys in the front row. Oh, it's obnoxious. This game, the running theme, I joke on Twitter, and it was the Guardians are out there playing defense as if they think they are the Chicago White Sox. They're just not. It's not even that they're not making plays. It's before the 2-run home run by Sheets, you have Jose Ramirez of all players drop a foul ball. You have Naylor drop a ball. You have Hedges with 2 bad throws. Now, one of those Jimenez probably should have got to. Maybe you don't put that all on him. But it's one of those games you look at, too, and it's, why is Quantrell still in there? He just gave up a run in the 7th. He shouldn't be going through this lineup again. This is where I get frustrated with Tito. Yes, this is technically the 3rd time through the lineup for these guys. But you still had, for Engel, for Harrison, for the guys who were up early, that's the 3rd time through. But no matter what, you're going to have guys on the 4th time through the lineup on a pitcher who's been okay in this game. He's not missing bats. He's got 4 earned runs, 10 hits. He's been very hittable. I don't know why he's still in there. That is a very questionable decision. He's now out after 6 1/3 innings, having given up, another run. But I don't know why he is in there. That is a very silly decision. After Naylor hits the home run to make it 3-1, to leave Quantrell when it's not like he's dominating. He's a low 90s pitch count. Yeah, the velocity I think was up to 94 in this one. but he's being okay. He's not being like spectacular. I disagree with that. That's my biggest problem in the early goings. I got to give, Rosario some credit. I have been rough on him. And, I was getting ready to kind of tweet jokingly about the fact he swung so hard at one of the pitches he almost fell over. And then he followed it up by lacing a single to the outfield. So, hey, whatever the approach is, it works. It's been an ugly offensive game. The Guardians have managed 6 hits and 1 walk. Stephen Kwan, if he doesn't get a hit in his next at bat's going to fall below 300 in terms of batting average. Jose Ramirez is at that threshold as well. Who's reached base twice? That's kind of our metric of success, of over the top success, I guess, more than anything else. It's Rosario, it's Naylor, and that's it. Naylor has the only extra base hit in this one. Like I said, there's 2 listed errors, Hedges and Naylor. There probably should be 4. That's where it's been in this game defensively, and that's really the takeaway. Because if Jose catches that foul ball, is this a 1-1 game? Does did we even get to the point where Sheets hits that home run? It's frustrating in that regard. And again, Jose is about as solid and steady as they come. So I'm not saying like it's Jose's fault. I'm just saying like a lot of players, you go in that inning and dropped foul pop by Josh Naylor, and then I think it was on the Sheets before the Sheets home run, or maybe it was. I'd have to go back and look at the individuals. I don't have the parts of it. But it's like the Jose dropping that pitch was big. Josh dropping a pitch is huge. I mean, none of those things. Like I said, they're playing defense like the Chicago White Sox out there. Now, that's why they're currently losing this one 4-1. Shaw is now in the game. He is going to get a huge bonus because remember, his bonuses are based on appearances. Nice play by Naylor at first to get Moncada at first base, because that's where he is. We now have 2 outs here in the 7th. We'll see if the Guardians can keep the damage low. Just playing the box score bingo in the early going here in the 7th, with the Guardians only managing 6 hits and 1 walk, 7 opportunities. 1 run is still low on 7 opportunities. That's still a low overall production rate for that. On the other side of things, White Sox have 10 hits and 0 walks. This White Sox team does not walk. I think they're the 2nd worst in baseball in terms of walk rate. So they've had 10 opportunities, 4 runs is high for that. Now, actually, I didn't count the errors. So technically 12 opportunities, but really you could say 14 opportunities, which is then more in line with the 4 runs they've gotten. Yeah, looking at this game, the Guardians, if they lose it, tomorrow's rubber match to see who's going to win the series. Doesn't necessarily have any extra importance because you want to win them all at this point, but it would be nice to take 2 series in a row from the White Sox. It'd be even better to sweep them 2 series in a row. I would definitely go for that. But this Guardians team, after that really rough stretch in there, after they swept the White Sox, it got ugly for a time. Between the Yankees and why am I blanking on the Angels? Now we're kind of seeing them, again, a productive, strong stretch. We will see what they will continue to do. We'll continue to track this game as it's going on. Right now, we have a 2-1 count on Abreu, who's 0-for-3 in the game, who's struggled in the early going. It might be the end of his time in Chicago. Oof, he got in on the hands, pop up. Naylor right there, and we're through 7. So it seems like a perfect time to take a break. We'll come back and talk about minor league pitching, because while I got many kind comments about the podcast yesterday, all kind comments about the game-winning reactionary podcast. Like I said, second most popular podcast we've had ever here on Locked On Guardians. I forgot to do the spiel. Thank you for listening to Locked On Guardians, making it your first listen today and every day wherever you get podcasts. I am Jeff Ellis. You can Google me or go find me at Jeff MLB Draft, and you'll find plenty of things about all of my writing experience through the years. But yesterday's show, the most, if there was a negative comment, it was people agreeing me with the problems with the pitching rotation. So we will talk. I didn't cough, almost did. We'll talk about that all in a second after a quick sponsor break to talk about one of our many fantastic sponsors. Spring is in the air. It's a time of renewal and growth, personally and professionally. As your small business grows, LinkedIn Jobs is here to make it easier to find the people you want to faster and for free. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 810 million people. Then add your job and purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word you're hiring so your network can help find the right people to hire. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonmlb. That's linkedin.com/lockedonmlb to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. So Jose Ruiz is in for the White Sox. Austin Hedges is 2-2. I feel a strikeout coming on. I do not know about anyone else watching right now. But, I mean, come on. You got to feel the strikeout. Oh, 3-2 count. You almost kind of wish he had leaned into that one a little bit more. Let's talk about minor league pitching. So we talked about the hitters and what's standing out. Talked about, some of my favorite stealth prospects like Jose Fermin and system. Let's talk about the pitching. So what's happening, what's occurring in the minors is, man, again, we talked with Hunter Gaddis last week, just about exactly a week ago on the show. That is a out by Hedges to everyone's surprise. And that Akron rotation is still, popping off, as it were. They are throughout these leading prospect lists. Though the #1 pitcher in ERA is now first-round pick Gavin Williams down in Lake County. I assume he'll move quickly. They've been moving the pitchers quickly. He's got very little to prove. He's dominating. But speaking of guys with little to prove, remember this is Logan Allen's second minor league season because the year he was drafted was that 2020 season. He's got a 1.95 ERA in Akron. Or how about, Peyton Battenfield and Adam Scott both pitching an incredibly hitter-friendly park in Columbus, being 3rd and 4th on the list. Now, there is some issue with qualifications because there's not enough players who qualify because 5th is Xavier Curry, who's got an ERA of nearly 5. Again, limited sample size, but it's very encouraging with those early names. Battenfield needs to be added at the end of the season. I don't know if Scott gets that opportunity or not, but, at some point, depending on how things go with this rotation, Battenfield might get an opportunity sooner rather than later, especially if he continues to perform. Logan Allen is also your strikeout king with 43 strikeouts. Gavin Williams 2, Daniel Espino 3, Riley Boone and Lynchburg. He's 4th, maybe not the name you expected. Tied for 5th, Curry and Gaddis. Gaddis, who was on the show just last week. This is what's funny. So Curry and Gaddis are tied for 5th, so that makes them 5th and 6th. Cantillo 7th. In Akron. Tanner Burns 8th in Akron. Tied for 8th. Oh. Andrew Miscues. Another interesting pitcher for them. This Akron team. My goodness. But yeah, you look at that performances. And then, we've talked about Nick Miklojak being the top reliever in system. Nick Enright is making a name for himself this year. He is, one of those guys who's slowly developed through the minors. One of those, I want to say he was a day 3 pick. I might be wrong there. For some reason, I want to say now I'm going to pull it up because I don't want to misspeak. And I'm thinking like a Georgia arm, so I'm totally going to be wrong about that. Virginia Tech, very wrong. Not even remotely close. And in terms of where he was taken in the draft, a 20th round pick by the Guardians in 2019 out of Virginia Tech. And, he's slowly moved through the system and then mostly as a reliever throughout his career. And, the ERA isn't great right now, but he is missing bats. Command is, numbers could be a little improved, but just keep keep an eye on him in terms of relief prospects and system. Innings pitched, Logan Allen, again, tops that list, and he's averaging over 6 innings per start. We just had Miles Straw with a walk here in the 8th inning. A lot of people have been down on Straw. This is what I'll say about him. I thought he'd be a slightly below league average bat. I think that's what we're seeing him do. I think that's what we're seeing him be. Is he still incredibly valuable even with that? Yes. You just have to accept what he is. Stephen Kwan coming to the plate. If he does not get a hit, he will fall under 300 in terms of batting average. which at that point I believe he just spontaneously combusts and we lose him. He cannot fall under 300. It's the contract he wrote. Going back into the minor league stats, let's see. First pitch, saw something you liked, got it out to the warning track, dead center. Steven Kwan is now batting under 300. A straw with an aggressive tag and go moves himself to second. Going back to the stats, batting average for opponents faced. This gets interesting. Gavin Williams is at 1.01. That's right, barely hitting over 100 against him. Logan Allen, 198. Curry and Battenfield are in the 200 and teens, and then Adam Scott at 220. Again, I don't think they're using qualified players, and I don't think there's enough qualified players just based on innings pitched at this point in time. Like Adam Scott, Curry made it at 21.2. Tanner Burns is at 21.1, and that must not be enough. Like you had to be at 21.2 to qualify. That's Gavin Williams has literally nothing to prove right now. He is just unbelievable. Probably should get promoted. Also leads the team in WHIP. WHIP's a bit of a junk stat. It's fun to look at. Logan Allen, number 2. I mean, that's the thing, though. It's like you look at Allen doesn't have much more to prove. There are still people who think he's a future reliever. I just say doubt the guy at your own risk. He seems to be the classic Guardians overperformer, where they saw something there, good athletic profile. He's moving so steadily through these minor leagues. But Battenfield is probably the next guy up if you need a starter. That's probably the guy. Not on the 40-man now, but you're going to have to add him anyways at some point. I don't think we have any chance of seeing Espino or Allen because of the crunch, and neither of them needing to be added now or at the end of the season. If they decide to go and add a reliever, that's when you're starting to look at, like, Xavier Curry will get a chance before them. Miklo Jack as a relief player could help out. Maybe they give Adam Scott an opportunity. Like with the issues with Anthony Ghost, at some point if they're like, the arm's electric, but I don't know if he's consistent enough to be a reliever, maybe they go Scott. Maybe they give him a shot. There's a few guys to consider in those upper levels. Maybe they give Cantillo a shot. We'll have to see, right? But the thing that is nice is, again, Logan Allen's dominating AA. He's going to get the move up soon. Peyton Battenfield is doing really well in a non-pitcher-friendly environment. Connor Pilkington's looked good when he's been called up. They have 2 guys on the 40-man ready to jump in and go as needed. They have the next wave is, sitting there waiting. You're probably like, why isn't there more about Espino? Espino got hurt. Was it a leg injury? He's been on the DL for a week or so. He's missed a few starts. But when you look at, Espino, Williams, Logan Allen, Battenfield, there's interesting guys up and down. And then we haven't even, Riley Boone, Tanner Bibby, those guys who on draft day, maybe that's a little underwhelming. Like they're not anyone where you look at them and go, yeah, they got major league stuff. But that's what the Guardians do well. That is what they identify players where they can find more. Now, I'll stand, I got in debates about this last year, but it's like, why do they target Florida pitchers? Because Florida has done a pretty poor job in development. I know it's a huge program, and it's had a lot of first-round pitchers, but where is A.J. Puck? Where is Logan Shore now? Where is Alex Vallejo? Where is Tommy Mace relative to all things? Tommy Mace would have gone higher out of high school than he did out of college. And yes, he was a late second, but he had first-round run if he had gone then. Jack Leftwich. It is just a long... Hunter Barco didn't gain any velocity. Now he's got Tommy John. It is a long stream, and I think the Guardians very much see. And so we had Sousa come in for Ramirez. Ramirez lines out. We're now heading, to the bottom of the 8th. So we'll see about this game. Not as exciting. You don't get the great big reactions going on as it occurs. But yeah, I think the big takeaway with this pitching staff is there's depth and there's potential stars. And while the pitching staff in the big leagues is not great, it's an average staff. It is a purely average staff with a lot of back end types. We all got spoiled. And again, people got mad at me. Like I was saying something, you really have to appreciate at peak how ridiculous that Guardians rotation was. Corey Kluber was the best Guardians pitcher of my life. Like, CC Sabathia had a really good run there at the end. Cliff Lee was unbelievable for, 3 years? Corey Kluber won multiple Cy Youngs and was in the conversation. Corey Kluber did things no pitcher has done in my time in Cleveland as a fan of this team. And then you add in, Carlos Carrasco, who's like in the top 10 for almost every pitching category and was like probably the best pitcher to never be an all-star right now in baseball. The best player to, for a long time, that was former Guardian Shin-Soo Choo. Now that's Carlos Carrasco, the best pitcher to never be an all-star. How about Shane Bieber, who also won a Cy Young and was the 5th starter at peak on that team? How about Mike Clevenger, who netted them Naylor and Hedges and Miller? And at the time, most people thought the Guardians didn't get enough back in that deal because Clevenger, when he was fully healthy, was a top 5 pitcher in the American League. And then we haven't even talked about Trevor Bauer. And Trevor Bauer is, he was, at the beginning, he struggled a bit. Then he was amazing. And everything since then has been incredibly toxic and things we're not going to touch on. But in terms of the on-the-field performance, that rotation was 5 pitchers who were all in the top 15 in all of the American League. It was something we're never going to see replicated just because of how rare that is. But we do have some, the next wave is coming up. We'll see if we can maybe get a few more pitchers that are like McKenzie, like Bieber, who have that more number 1, number 2 upside. That is my hope. They've got solid filler, but if they really want to be a contending team, I think we need to see a little bit more. Let's take that second break here as we're in the 8th inning. Try to see Henches is in. This is a good chance to talk about one of the players who's really taken a big breakthrough so far this year. Listen, our great friends over at BuiltBar.com have one of their favorite bars back right now. While supplies last, Birthday Cake Puff is back. It comes with sprinkles. It is a mess out of the bag, but it is delicious. I have had it. Try it for yourself over at BuiltBar.com. Remember, if you want to try the Birthday Cake Puff or any of their other fantastic products, you want to use the promo code LOCK15. Why LOCK15? Because you're not going to find a better deal on the best tasting protein bar on the market. I eat Built Bars daily. I put my money where my mouth is. Not literally, but figuratively, as I spend my own money to go and buy Built Bars. I love this product. I eat it daily. It is good for you. It is delicious. Go to BuiltBar.com today. Remember that promo code is LOCK15. You will thank me later. So, yeah, we got some weird baseball going on. How about that? Maybe I'm just not allowed to not record. I was sitting here, it's like, so because I wanted to record as the game is going on, because that's what got requested after the performance yesterday. It meant I didn't get a chance to get all my stuff together. So I'm like, you know what? We'll see how it goes. We'll see how much I have to talk about in segment 3. Sometimes I get to the college stuff. Sometimes I don't on the Wednesday wrap-up. We never know. So I wanted to get all the data together. Right now, he might be out. But that's the thing. Like, don't slide. Sliding slows down your momentum. You should run through first base. Don't slide. Physics, math. Your body slows down. You're dropping. When you are running full speed, you are just gaining speed. If he runs all the way through, he's probably safe here. We'll see whether or not Andres Jimenez, if you missed it, head first slide into first base. You're also asking to break fingers in this situation. Just run through. I've never understood why this is one of those things that still happens. Like, it should just be a very basic thing of baseball. No matter what happens, dropping to slide, as you slide, you're going to lose momentum. It's one thing if you're trying to avoid a tag. That is where it makes sense. Run through the base. You're not going to be out. You're allowed to run through it. Run through. Right now it should be bases loaded with 2 outs. We'll see what this review says. Just run through the darn base. Like, it comes up all the time. A number of players I see slide. Unless you're avoiding a tag, you shouldn't slide. That's the only thing, because let's just talk basic physics, okay? When you drop to slide, you have more friction. More friction slows you down. Run through the base, you have less friction. It's not like you drop in a slide and friction can't find you anymore. It's not like, oh no, I'm too low for friction. Running, if he runs through, he's safe. We'll see how the challenge turns out right now. But it's just such a fundamentally simple thing. And I don't understand how professional baseball players do this all the time. Why is there's this, I'm going to dive at first base. When you're diving, especially when you look where Jimenez dived, he dove from such a far level out that he slowed himself down. So I don't have the sound on. Yep, it got overturned, and that's the end of the game. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be over. Don't slide into first. I mean, I guess I should just cut and paste this and send it to the Guardians and be like, can you just explain to your players? It's not their fault. And, there is a tendency to just dive towards it, I guess. But right now it should be bases loaded with 2 outs. And it said we're game over. No. Question is, bases loaded with 2 outs, does Terry actually pinch hit for Hedges this time? I don't know. I would hope so. But then your bench is also Ernie Clement, Luke Maley, and Oscar Mercado. So who you sending out? I guess maybe Mercado in that situation. It's one of those things where I can sit here and get mad and rail against a loss that I feel like maybe shouldn't have been a loss. But it's not like bases loaded would have been the best situation based on what they have on the bench. That's just it. But still, you should at least have got that opportunity. It's not smart baseball. It is a dumb play. Sliding incurs friction. Friction slows you down. Basic science. From a history major. So, I mean, it's not like it takes a whole lot to understand that. In this game, to get to that situation in the ninth, Franmil walked. Rosario with a single, so that's 3 hits in this one for him. The Guardians ended up getting up to 3 walks because Straw also had a walk. Now, unfortunately, when I look at this game, I do the 3 stars often. What are my 3 biggest frustrations? Leaving Quantrell in too long, not running through first base, defense. Those are the 3 things that just drive me batty when I look back at this game, because it could have been a much closer affair, and it could still be going on. So there's that. Who are our 3 stars in this one? Well, Naylor with the home run, the only run that gets crossed, 2 hits, a home run. Rosario, didn't have a massive blunder in this one, and he had 3 hits. After that, it's hard because no one else even reached base twice. The bottom of the lineup yesterday, the bottom of the lineup was supercharged, and it really led this team forward. Today, you look at Jimenez and Hedges at 8 and 9. They went 0 for 7 with 3 strikeouts. It wasn't. Franmil had an 0-4 before that walk. Ramirez and Miller each respaced 1 time. So did Quan and Straw. So it wasn't the strongest opportunities. Honestly, I'm probably going to give it to Henches as he lowered his ERA to .69. And we needed all of 13 pitches to get through that inning. He just continues to be a revelation. He has never looked like the guy he has become so far. There's no way the biggest fan of Henches could have predicted that he was going to do what he did. But that's why you give big guys who throw hard as many opportunities as you can, I guess. So yeah, that's the game for today. I was going to talk about some college guys. Shamar, let's just give him some quick shout outs. Shamar Page, senior at Grambling, pitched at La Tech. He's going to be 23 in May, so an older pitcher. Not only is he top 3 in the nation in strikeouts, but he's also got a 985 OPS and is playing every day. 2-way guy at Grambling, missing a ton of bats. Walk rate is a little higher than the Guardians typically like, but a really good athlete, 2-way guy, could still be on the radar. They went for guys who were a little bit older last year. I don't think it scares them off as much as it has in the past. I was going to talk about Bryson Moutz, the University of San Diego pitcher, who is missing bats nobody. 13.1 strikeouts per 9, walks per 9 are down to 2.3, home runs per 9 are at 1.4. That might affect some teams. The Guardians might actually view that as a bonus, that he is clearly a fly ball pitcher, not a ground ball pitcher. They prefer fly ball types. He is a lefty, and he's not going to turn opposite of Page here. He's not turning 21 until mid-July. So very young for a class. You look at it, I mean, he was a 2020 freshman. Didn't get to pitch that much that year. Last year, mostly worked out of the pen. He didn't even get to go to the Cape. He went to my neck of the woods. He pitched in the Northwoods League, which is the secondary wood bat league. It's just neat. I want to thank everyone for listening, rating, and reviewing. Frustrating game tonight, but hopefully we will get a series win tomorrow for the Cleveland Guardians. Remember to rate and review, download daily. That helps. Subscribe, like, all of those good things. And I want to thank you again for making Locked On Guardians your first listen today and every day, wherever it is you get podcasts. Go check out Locked On Blue Jackets. Let's throw it out. Hockey is my favorite sport to play, back when I played sports. And they just had the NHL Draft Lottery tonight. So go hear some thoughts on who they might draft at 6 and 12. That's I'm going to shout out to a podcast I haven't shouted out to before. And as I end every episode now, go Guardians, go.